Hey everyone, it's Mark from Stocks and Cash. It's March 5th, 2018. I'm here with your market update video. I'm going to go over my holdings and then talk about some potential trade setups for tomorrow. Let's take a look at the SPY. As you can see, today we had a really nice bullish candle. We broke through our resistance level here. We broke through the exponential moving averages. We opened a little lower than the close on Friday, but we ultimately rallied up throughout the day, as I mentioned, closing above these resistance levels. So I believe that the rally, so to speak, is back on. I would look at our first target to be 278, uh, assuming we'll get back to these recent mini highs that we put in here. And if we can crack through, we'll put in a new higher high. Maybe we put in a new higher low and then try again for the all-time highs at 286. Or maybe from here we just go up and try and crack through the 286 all-time highs. We'll have to see what happens. But the only thing I'm a little concerned about is that the volume was a little low. As you can see here, I drew a line showing the volume. I mean, I say it's a little low. It was pretty much on par, on average, for what the S&P or SPY typically does. You typically would like to see a little stronger volume on a move as big as it was today, but considering we're around the average, maybe a little higher, not too bad. The interesting thing is that the stochastics are bearish, although trying to turn over. MACD is still kind of flat, although trying to turn over. You can see that it's in an ascending trend, and RSI is bullish. So overall, I think the market is looking pretty healthy. Again, I want to see us get back to these 278 levels as being the first target, and then try and get to our all-time highs, whether we do that in a straight line or, as I said, put in a higher high and a higher low and get there that way. I see us moving on up, given today's price action. Let's take a quick look at the intraday action. 5-minute chart. Let's see, 9:30 is right here. Zoom in on that a little bit. So as you can see, we had the gap down from where the close was on Friday, and we pretty much took off and never looked back. So here's a good example of the 5-minute rule. This was the first candle that was made on the SPY. We had to close above it. This is where you would get in. You'd put your stop at the low of the opening candle. We never closed below it. We bounced and took off for the rest of the day. Had a little bit of selling on the last 15 minutes, although I wouldn't really be too concerned about that. Maybe we open down a little bit tomorrow and have another bounce and run. But I think overall the market is looking pretty healthy, at least in the short term. Let me take a look at the Qs. So the Qs had similar price action. It opened up a little bit down and then rallied out throughout the day. The Qs are going to try and get back to 171 or so, try and crack through those all-time highs. Whether it can do it or not is obviously remains to be seen, but that's the next target on the Qs given this price action. Although you can see that the volume on the Qs is pretty low. Even I guess it's hard to say. I guess when you're in these downtrends, obviously volume spikes higher, so the volume is going to look a little lower when you're on an uptrend. Maybe it's around average, but again, on these big bullish days, you'd like to see a little more conviction, a little more buying, a little more volume. But that being said, it's not the sole thing to look at. MACD is up, stochastics are trying to turn back over bullishly, and RSI is bullish. So again, I think the markets overall are looking pretty healthy. So let's take a look at holdings. Netflix, I purchased today a little later than I wanted to. I had something else going on during the day and wasn't able to get in exactly when I wanted to, but the trade has paid off so far. Let's take a look at the 5-minute candle. If we look at the open here, so we opened here. This is the 9:30 candle. We never closed above it on this one. And then we kind of went below it, but kind of rallied. And then once we closed above it, you could either say on this candle at 10:35 or this candle, to be certain, at 10:40. We rallied up throughout the rest of the day extremely strongly. Um, I ended up getting in around 11:15 or so I missed a little bit of move here, but overall caught the bulk of it. So I am up pretty handsomely right now. I believe around 30% um, on this particular trade. So very happy with the performance on Netflix today. And you can see MACD is looking strong. It's turning up. Stokes are overbought, but that's okay. That can live up there. And also RSI is in the overbought territory, but it can also live in that vicinity. So my target is 320 essentially. I'm only about $3 away from that. I only bought one call because it's a very expensive stock. But again, I'm happy with the performance so far. And I just took a look. I'm up at 24% on this trade. So again, I'll be looking to get out at 320. Can this thing go higher? Absolutely. But given my trade plan, what I'm comfortable with, I'd like to lock in my profit here at 320. If it goes higher, so be it. But be looking at a 30-35% profit with that next move up. Let's take a look at, and I guess I should just mention the SPY in general, up about 23% on that trade. Excuse me. Activision, ATVI, purchased this towards the end of the day. I saw that the move was looking pretty healthy. We did kind of pull back and closed right on the line, so I'm a little bit concerned, not super concerned. Stokes are overbought. MACD is looking very strong, and RSI is looking bullish. So I do think Activision has room to run. My stop would have to be at the low of today's candle, although that's quite a bit of room there. Let's see, 72. It's currently at 75, so about $2.50 of risk. This could go all the way up to 82.32, so plenty of room to run if it does run. I'm just concerned that we closed around the line. When I did purchase it, we were comfortably above it, and then the afternoon, I shouldn't say afternoon, the last 5-minute sell-off candle on the main market affected this one a little bit, and we pulled back and closed right on the line. So I'm not saying it can't go higher. I'm certainly hoping that it does. Just want to get some more conviction tomorrow and kind of burst through here. First target 78, second target 82.33. And then MasterCard, one of my favorite stocks, broke back above the breakout level here, 177.18, closed at 179.27. I'm neutral on the trade. I'm neutral on Activision as well since I bought so late in the day. Targets on MasterCard of 182.74 and approximately 190. So looking to see this guy run. MACD's trying to turn bullish. Stokes are trying to turn bullish. And RSI is bullish. And you can just tell the overall trend of this particular stock is up. So pretty confident in MasterCard. So let's take a look at some potential trade setups for tomorrow. First Solar, very interesting pattern on First Solar. Not one that I usually trade, but mostly because I haven't really honed in on it before. But it's very clear here that there's a big cup and handle pattern forming. So the cup and handle is basically a big U that you can see here that I'm kind of tracing with the mouse. This is the U, this is the cup, and the handle is this little pullback here. So essentially you want to see a breakthrough this upper handle, and when you do, the stock can theoretically run up pretty high. So, or break out. We saw that we got to close above this resistance level. We closed above the handle downward trend line. Volume was pretty good. I guess, well, now that I look at it a little historically, maybe volume wasn't excellent, but nevertheless, volume was better than it has been over the last few days. MACD just turned up. RSI is bullish. Stochastics just crossed over bullishly. This would be a first 5-minute candle, excuse me, trade. I don't have fibs drawn. I'm just looking at resistance levels. So this resistance level is looking at the high from back here, back in March of 2016, so almost 2 years ago. That level is 74.44. We're sitting at 66, so about an $8 move. And I'd only be risking about $2.50. So kind of similar to the previous Activision trade that I was talking about in terms of risk to reward. That would be the first target. The second target would be 76.61, and then we could talk about drawing some fibs on here at that point. So, but for now, we want to get through this little resistance level here, but the target is really 74.50 approximately. Couple more. Hess. This would be something at the end of the day I'd be interested in. We're not quite through the warning zone here. Whoops, I want to move that. You can see we're still in the warning zone. Once we get through that level, I think we could run up and fill this gap here at 52. And then at that point, we could continue on and test these recent highs and then push on higher from there. You can see I have this drawn bearishly. Can make a quick change here. Just see what the targets could be. Oh, and I drew this. Okay. So I'm going from this candle to the low wick on this candle. That's how I get this, excuse me, warning zone. So it's a ways to go, but you can see there's a lot of potential in Hess if the market rebounds and Hess itself rebounds. But right now we're just trying to focus on getting through this resistance level. If we close above it, last 10 minutes or so of the day, if we're looking like we're above it, it's worth grabbing a few calls, see if we can retest this gap, close the gap, and then after that we would try and get to our breakout levels. So that's what I'm seeing on Hess. The last three stocks are also potential breakout plays. Not going to spend too much time on them. It's pretty self-explanatory. Microsoft, we tested we hit a high here, came down, tested it back here a few days ago. Now it looks like we're trying to test it again. So if we get above 96.07, at the end of the day, if we're closing above it, worth getting into some calls, see if we can get up to our first target of 99.43 and then 103.71. Intel, very similar. Had a high, came down, tested it and failed. Now we're trying to test it again or get up to the test point. If we break through it, see targets of 53 and 56 and some change. Lastly, Seagate, which I was looking at yesterday. This would have been a great trade today. I missed it, unfortunately, but that's the nature of the beast. MACD is looking bullish, RSI is looking bullish, stochastics are overbought. Now, considering I missed that move, I'd be looking for a close above 56.56 with targets of 59 and 63. That's all I have for today. If anyone has any questions or comments, please feel free to leave something in the comments section. Otherwise, have a great night and good luck trading tomorrow. Take care.